Lancia Flavia Saloon, a super little TVR. This glorious S3 Bentley Continental. Ooh, the Renault 16 has just arrived. The 504 SRD. GT6 has just parked up. Well, morning all, welcome to the Old Classic Car channel, and it's one of those rare sunny days. We have a bit of a break in the weather today. Tomorrow it's back to normal by all accounts, so got to grab these moments while you can, because next weekend it is AUTOS de France over at Oulton Park, and last year I was booked in but I wasn't able to go, so all being well we have booked in again this time, and hopefully we'll be a bit more successful in actually getting there this time. So I thought, well, we really need to give the Renault a bit of a checking over, warm it up, and I'll probably take it for a little spin today, because it has been out but not a great deal, and I've not really done any journey of any great merit in it, so I really think I need to at least put a few miles on it just to sort of iron out any problems before next weekend and our hopeful trip over to Oulton Park. We have been to AUTOS de France before, and it was really good. There was a lot, I think there was 2 CV racing amongst other things, and quite a few interesting cars on display. 2023 was the first year that they held AUTOS de France. Unfortunately it's back for 2024, so we thought we really need to get this over there, even if we don't take it to any other shows this year, and it is getting a bit back end for shows now. We are getting quite late in the year, so I thought if there's one show in 2024 that we want to get the Renault to, it has to be AUTOS de France. It's the nearest French themed show to us, so we've really got to try and get it over there. So I've just got it warming up now. Little inline 4 engine, water cooled. The radiator is over there. Long termers on the channel will have no doubt seen the videos I did a little while ago, just experimenting, just spending a little bit of time to try and get it more reliable, because it used to cut out all the time, which was fairly, well, yeah, it wasn't the best. So as Harley would say, it was quite suboptimal. The fact that we did used to sort of conk out every few miles, that was pretty boring. But touch wood, it seems to be behaving a bit now. I had to make up this heat shielding, which you can see around here. I had to modify the throttle linkage because that was wrong as well. There was some problems within the distributor cap, so I had to get another cap and a rotor arm from America. The setup on this, it's a British built car. This is technically, it's a Renault 750, and there are certain differences. The electrical system, the ignition system, is slightly different on this compared to the French 4 CVs. So yeah, there are a few subtle differences. Of course, my steering wheel is on the right hand side, which, I mean, I don't mind left hand drive, but right hand drive, well, that's fine too. And it's not like you're going to be overtaking much with this anyway, so left or right hand drive, it doesn't really make a great difference at all. But it's just such a super little car, this one. We've had this one, it's what, a couple of years perhaps now, and it's just such a bonny car. You don't see many of them at all at the shows we get to. Occasionally we've seen a darkish red example, that belongs to a gentleman that we do bump into quite regularly at shows, but is usually in Citroens, or more recently a Rolls-Royce Silver Dawn, but we haven't seen the 4CV in a little while. And there's also a re-engined one that popped up last year at AUTOS de France, so it may well be that it'll be there again this year, who knows, but we're really hoping that we can get this one there, all being well. So I'm just going to let it warm up a little bit, and then probably once we've had a bite to eat, then we'll take it out for a spin and see how we get on. Here's one of the factory sales brochures for the UK spec Renault 750. This is a 1955 brochure. The car is 54, but I don't think they changed a great deal. But they're just lovely illustrated fold-out brochures, these are. Young drivers of tomorrow admire and are keenly interested in the Renault 750, the French car that is more in evidence on the road than any other. That's quite a bold claim. A few months ago, a children's competition was held in France to celebrate the 500,000th Renault 750. This competition met with tremendous success, there being 327,000 entrants. For several weeks, the only thought in the schools was to discover mistakes in the mystery photograph of the 750. Well, we've sought to take advantage of the interest and the powers of observation of the children to show you the numerous detailed improvements to be found on the new 750 models. I mean, I know instrument clusters did change a little bit occasionally over the years, but yeah, there's not that many differences really. Let's see if we can fold this out. It is fairly compact in here. There we go. And these are the children looking for all the differences, I think, between the older cars and the newer cars. Looks like a fun time. Right folks, well I'm now joined by the youthful assistant. He's joined me, so let's just check neutral. Let's see what we got to do. So the choke, I shouldn't need any choke because I had it running before. So I'll just give it a little bit of throttle. There's the ignition over here. Maybe we do need a little bit of choke after all, just a teeny weeny little bit. I'll just give it a little bit down there because the choke is all the way down there between the seats. So let's give it another go. There we go. All 748cc purring away to itself. So like I said before, we're going to go for a bit of a test run and just get a few miles under the wheels of the little Renault. Maybe we'll even pick up a baguette while we're out. Well, we're popped in to see Dad and his MGB GT. Hello.
Filming already?
Yeah. Yeah, well, we're just out and about doing a bit of testing, so yeah. So what are you doing with this today?
I've just been down to the pie shop.
I've been to the pie shop.
Yes, got some pies in this evening.
Yeah, jolly good.
What better to do this, you know?
Yeah. We'll have to make the most of this this unusually balmy weather. Yeah, it's good to see the bee out, a bit of sunshine on it.
Oh, absolutely. That's what I thought.
Jolly good, jolly good.
Yes, oh yes, yes.
Right, both cars back, so let's head off now. Well, there we go, back home again, and we even remembered the baguette. Okay folks, well, a couple of days have passed. Tomorrow we are off to AUTOS de France, so I thought I'd just give the Renault another little test drive, and it has developed a bit of a splutter. I'm not quite sure if it's ignition, maybe a plug lead's gone down or a bit of muck pulled in to one of the carburetor jets. I'm not quite sure, and I'm not going to get a chance to check it over again before tomorrow's event, which is a real shame because the test run I had the other day when we met up with Dad and went for a bit of a drive around, it was a-okay, it was fine, it was driving beautifully. Yet today, not quite so well, so I'm not going to risk taking it there and having a problem at the side of the road, so I need to spend a little bit more time on that. So we will be going in the Jag instead. It's not a French car, but it will get us there, and that is the main thing. So I will report back. I'll pick this video up again once we're actually at Oulton Park in the morning. Now you do get a lot of modern French cars also displaying here, so we will be prioritising the older stuff of course, but I just had to show this. This is the Peugeot Hogger. This is a Brazilian special that's been imported by somebody in recent times, and I saw this one down at Gaydon just a week or two ago. It's a really unusual little pickup truck, left-hand drive, but quite a sight, and certainly a very well, it must be unique, not unusual. It's unique in this country, I'm sure. It's a great thing. Little 106 alongside it, and a somewhat modified Peugeot alongside that. But yeah, we will be mainly looking at the older cars here today. It's just a real shame that the Renault isn't here with us, but these things were sent to try us. But yeah, what an interesting little vehicle this one is. This fantastic little Citroen Cadian van is a regular here at Oulton Park as well. This one is often parked over the way there near Lodge Corner on the infield. I assume it belongs to someone who actually works here, but it's always a treat to see this. A very original looking little van, this one. So it's sort of partially kind of corrugated, a bit like the H van and the 2CV van. This locker lifts open and you can put some bits and bobs in there. You can put your bottle of wine, baguettes, that kind of thing. What a great little thing. The noise in the background is the first of the qualifying sessions. I think it's for the CNC Championship, which is a championship basically for very modified road cars, not just French. Like I say, some of the racing that's taking place this weekend or today isn't French related, but some of the races are. We've got Citroen Saxos and, like I say, the 2CVs. It's the latter that I'm really looking forward to. But anyway, let's go and have a look around the paddock and see what oldies we can spot over that way. But the first classic car sighting of the day is not a French car at all. It is an Italian Lancia on a trailer here, and what a stunning car that is. A Lancia Flavia Saloon, four-door saloon, but what a great looking car that is. It's got the little Corello lamps on the front. What a classy looking saloon that is. I love these mirrors. Apologies for the reflections. Yeah, it's in beautiful condition as well. Look at that lovely wooden dash. Simple, classy interior, lovely switchgear as well. Really tasty car. A Flavia Berlina, presumably. What an amazing looking car. The first interesting old car here today. And it happens to be Italian, not French, but well, I'll just go with whatever we find. Look at that. I love the shape of the back lights. It reminds me a little bit of a Van der Plas 4 litre, the back lights, and that's where the similarities end. You've got this lovely double number plate light arrangement here. Even just the way the moulding humps over the lock there. It's just a stunning, stunning car. What does that say? I'd love to be able to read that, but I'm not entirely sure what that says. But yeah, what a beauty that is. I have now found out that this badge reads Emissioni, which tells us that this car, this very advanced car with a flat 4 in the front, is fuel injected. So what a treat to see this here today. I love that even the design of the door handles is lovely, you know. It's just all really beautifully thought out. Yeah, that really is. Will this be the highlight of the day, I wonder? Citroen C6 there, a pretty bonkers looking car, but behind that we have a Renault 5. Saw a few of those on our recent French trip. There's quite a bit of single-seater action on track today as well. And over here, parked up on its own, we have a super little TVR. This is actually a car that I've known about for a little while. I know who owns this one, but it's the first time I've seen it up close. So let's have a look up close. It's a private registration number on there, so we can't get any dating information from that. But what a super little car that is. So this is the itinerary for today. Qualifying this morning, and then the racing starts about 11:30. We have a lunch break, and then the rest of the races in the afternoon. Yeah, definitely lots of tin snails here today. And this one looks like it's seen a bit of action. One of the modifications they have to do when they're preparing the cars for racing is to get rid of the cloth roof and replace it with a metal roof. 40 or so brake horsepower I think these are allowed up to. They do 24-hour racing with these as well, hence the illuminated racing number there on the door. Won't be racing in the dark here today, Oulton Park. Yeah, it does look a lot of fun, I know. Even though they're not hugely powerful, they're hugely entertaining to watch these race. Bit of action here in the scrutineering bay. Onto the scales. All sorts of cars take part in the CNC Championship. There's a real variety. We've got Hondas here. There's a much modified Lotus Europa just over the back there. BMWs, Fords, Renaults. Yeah, a bit of everything. A bright yellow Mini there, kind of. More cars heading towards scrutineering, including this Porsche Boxster. There's a bit more French car action over here. As I mentioned, the video that we did recently in France was a really varied mix of cars in that one, so I certainly recommend it. If you haven't seen that yet, please check that one out. There were 2 CVs, Renault 5s, Renault 4s, all sorts of things that we spotted during our time driving around northern France. So if you love these old French cars, please check out that video when you're finished here. And over here we have a multicolour Citroen Diane, and this is a car I also spotted down at Gaydon just a couple of weekends ago. Right hand drive. These were always mooted to be the replacement, I think, for the 2CV, but that never actually happened. But yeah, pretty cool car. Well travelled. There's so many of the Dianes and the 2CVs that you see at the events that we get to. They get all over the place, so that's really, really good. Yes, this is a very, very well travelled car indeed. Note the lift up rear hatch on this, very different to the 2CV where the fold down roof comes all the way down here. Oh. Many, many stickers. Yes, there are lots of different cars racing here today at Oulton Park, some French, some not French, but as always here on the Old Classic Car channel we'll try and feature just a little bit of everything that's here at this particular event, while focusing primarily on the older cars, including all these phenomenal little race prepared 2CVs. How fantastic. These just sound epic. Here's that stunning little Mark 1 Escort race car in the colours of the old Alan Mann racing team. What a great looking car that is. This is taking part in the CNCC Heads Championship.
Top 5 machines completed by the 40 of James Sherrington. Those guys will be back out for a race as we get towards the end of qualifying, of course.
Three-door Sierra Cosworth just parked over here near the pits. Looks all very purposeful, stripped out interior, bonnet pins. Yeah, the bucket seats are de rigueur, perspex windows. Not much in the way of trim or creature comforts in here. Very neat. Here's that incredible Lotus Europa. The race prepared Renault 5 GT Turbo over here. And look at this over here. This just pulled in a few minutes ago while we were waiting for the two CVs to depart. This glorious S3 Bentley Continental. S3 because it's got the twin headlamps per side at the front. The earlier cars didn't have that. Oh, what a magnificent motor car that is. Is there a little sign in the window, or no, it's just a piece of paper? Yeah, quality machine.
A little bit more frantic when we get towards that stage of the day.
Yeah, what a magnificent motor car. I can smell the leather interior just through this open quarter light. So it must be a real pleasure to drive around behind that magnificent wooden dashboard in the sumptuous leather interior. What a magnificent motor car. Let's have a quick look at the back. Yeah, beautiful 1964 S3. Oh, the owners. The owners have materialised, so we can have a quick peer inside. So what's it, 64, 1964, yeah. Isn't it? S3. Wow. That is glorious. So how long have you owned this for then?
We've had this about 5 years.
Have you?
Yeah, we had to bring this car today. A, because my wife has had a new hip, so she can't get in a low sports car.
So you had to buy. You had to run this.
You know,
oh, what a shame. What a
pity. Yeah,
what a
and there were
hardship.
4 of us. So.
No. Wow. So is this the first Bentley you've had, or
no? We've had other
serial Bentley.
No, just serial cars really.
Nice cars.
In fact, before we came here, we just had a Daimler delivered at 7 o'clock this morning.
Did you?
Yeah.
Which Daimler?
Daimler Majestic, 1961.
Oh, I do like those. Yeah. Majestic or Majestic Major?
Majestic.
So 3.8, straight 6.
Straight 6, yeah.
Another one.
Yeah.
No, I was very tempted with a couple of Daimler Majestics years and years ago.
Yeah.
I found 2 that have been sort of left, but probably a good thing I didn't pursue that.
No, unfortunately they are quite unloved, but
great things there.
Yeah.
No, they're lovely. No, what a fantastic car. Right, my youthful assistant has wandered off while I was talking to the owners of that magnificent Bentley. That is the inside of the first corner, that old hall. My youthful assistant has drifted off over there somewhere, so I'll go and catch up with him and watch a bit of the 2CV practice as it happens. For just 602cc, these things really shift. While the 2CV qualifying is going on, I think it's time to have a wander around the static parking area. It's just filled up now with lots and lots of French cars. Lots of enthusiastic French car owners are here today, which is good to see. Lots and lots of Saxos here, but obviously we'll be looking mainly at the slightly older cars, including this 205 GTI Citroen AX GT. It looks pretty purposeful with those big lamps on the front. A trio of Citroen AXs over here. There's always going to be lots and lots of Citroen 2CV action here today at Oulton Park, and yeah, we are not to be disappointed. There's a lovely red and white Citroen Dolly over here, so let's just carry on our walk along here in the general direction of this Citroen DS. A magnificent Citroen DS, what an incredible car they are. It's on the J plate, so what, 1970, 71, that kind of era. A lovely shade of blue. I'm gutted that we're not here in the 4CV, but you know, such is life with old cars. And alongside it, another slightly earlier car, this one late 67 or early 1968, otherwise pretty similar. This one's got the rear window shade in it. Amazing cars. Whiz that bolt off the back. You can take the whole back wing off and you can get at the rear wheel if you need to do a tyre and wheel change. Well, it's great to see some idiosyncratic classic French cars here today. I wasn't quite sure what age range of cars we'd see here today, but it's great to see these older classics here, mixing it with later cars that are now in enthusiasts' hands, like this C6. Many 2CVs, 3 2CV bamboo editions, good heavens. That's not something you say every day. Yes, I was all prepared to bring our little Renault here today. I even dug out this, the ABC book of Continental cars, to help me on my way. This was published in 1954, the same year as our 4CV. In fact, there is a 4CV just on the cover. I've just noticed that now while looking at it. Chasing the Ponton era Mercedes-Benz. But yeah, 1954 this book. Our 4CV was 1954. And 1954 was the first full season of racing here at Oulton Park. The very first races were held towards the end of 1953. I think the first race was August 53, but the first full season of racing was 1954, which is why I dug out this little book, and I'd hoped to have the 4CV here, but never mind. Right, let's carry on over here, see what other gems we can spot. More TV action over here. We'll have a look at this GS in a minute. But this is looks somewhat modified, this particular car. I'm not quite sure what the story is with this. It sits very different compared to most of the 2CVs that we see here today. And that's probably explained by the fact that I think there was another engine in the back. So that might explain the slightly different rider height arrangements on this particular car, but how cool is that? Whether we'll see any 1950s era 2CVs here today, I'm not quite sure. But if we consult this little book, page 8, it gives us this information. This is one of the most unusual cars in production anywhere today. It was designed to give the cheapest possible motoring under all sorts of road conditions, and furthermore, to withstand the misuse of people unaccustomed to driving. The little 2-cylinder flat twin engine, which is conservatively rated to ensure long life, drives through a 4-speed gearbox to the front wheels. Suspension front and rear is independent. The body, which seats 4 and has 4 doors, is startlingly unusual, being made in 2 halves, between which is fixed a folding cover extending from the windscreen to the bottom of the boot. The bonnet falls away to the large and squarish radiator grille, on which is mounted a large Citroen motif. There are no separate side lamps, and the headlamps stand out from the sides of the bonnet. The 2CV has a top speed of about 40 miles an hour, bearing in mind this is in the early 1950s, and it gives a fuel consumption of no less than 55 to 60 miles per gallon. There's also a bit of info on the old traction Avants as well in here. Whether we'll see one of those here today, I don't know, but yeah, I thought it was quite a great outing for the old Continental Cars book from 1954. This super little 2CV based van, the Fourgonette, we have seen at several events, Goresworth Hall, that kind of thing. We saw it here last year as well, but it's such a Bobby Dazzler. Well, why wouldn't I feature this again? The little AK400. What a beauty that is. A quick peeking through the window there. Yeah, lots and lots of different editions of the good old 2CV. Let me know in the comments if you're a fan of French cars. Have you ever owned a French-built car? Would you never own a French-built car? Do you own one now? Do you own a 2CV? Let me know in the comments. It's always great to read your thoughts about all the videos that go out here on the Old Classic Car channel. And here we have a Citroen GS, a very original looking Citroen GS. A little bit modern for my little Continental Cars book, but never mind. It's a left-hand drive, but that looks super original, a GS Club. Not a car you see all that often now. I wonder where this has been all its life. Actually, while we're on the subject of GS's, I walked past this one before, but I want to make sure I feature it properly, because it's always a treat to see these slightly uncommon cars. You know, you very rarely see these anywhere. This one a couple of years newer than the other one at the end of the row. Yes, yeah, what a treat to see that. I love the vinyl roof as well. Very, very pale yellowy cream colour. Yeah, fantastic. Ooh, the Renault 16 has just arrived. Wonder what other Renaults will be here today. Oh, the youthful assistant is taking photos for his Instagram. Hey, get away. Oi, 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 oi. No, less of that, sunshine. Right, I want to look at this Citroen ID19 from 1966. What a beauty. This is left-hand drive. That looks super original paint on that. And these lovely little Marshall lamps on the front. Wow. That is just gorgeous car. Yeah, the paint looks so original on that. What an amazing looking car. Plus removable roof panels on these. I think they were no, they're not fiberglass, are they? But it is a DS21. It's not the ID. Oh, I got that wrong. The little headlights at the front kidded me into thinking we were looking at an ID, but this is DS21 from 1966. Very appropriate headgear in the back, a couple of little Michelin hats there. And that is just super original. Proper mud flaps on it as well. No, that's a really special classic Citroen. Yeah, even got a built-in radio. Probably can't quite see it through the window, but I'll try zooming in. Hopefully you can just about make that out. Original interior as well. Oh, that really is a cracking car. But what really makes it for me, as well as the original paint and the chrome work and everything, is just the lighting on the front. I think that just looks brilliant. Okay, 2CV alongside. There's one of those optional sort of add-on boot type arrangements, which gives you a lot more storage space in the back. So that seems like a very sensible upgrade to me. Next to this beauty in white, we have another van. Wow. What a great assortment of 2CVs in all their different forms. We haven't seen any super early ones yet, but we live in hope. You never know. We could do another great van here in Gulf livery. A matching car also in Gulf livery. And what is this? Is this an Oltcit? I've got a feeling this is an Oltcit, which was based on Citroen running gear. It is indeed the Oltcit Club 11RL. What a rare beast that is. These were never sold here in the UK. There are one or two around, literally one or two, which have been brought in by enthusiastic owners over the last few years. I think based largely on the Citroen Visa, I think these were. I love the little spoiler on the back. 10 out of 10 for optimism needing that, but yeah. Great to see these rarities at events like this. Very groovy front wings, front and rear wings on this super little deux chevaux. What on earth is that? Wow. Obviously 2CV based. That's where those lamps came from. The Burton. Yes, I love the windscreen on it. That really is harking back to French cars of the pre-war era. What a great screen arrangement. Never seen one of these before. It's like a Delahaye shrunken slightly. Many stickers on the back of this super little 2CV. And a couple of Citroen BXs over here, one on a G, the other on an H plate. A trio of Talbot Matras over here, the old Matra Marina. Very unusual little cars. This white one is so similar to a car that used to live close to where I grew up. Novel because of the 3 abreast seating. Not sure if you can see that. Apologies for reflections, but yeah. Maybe one of them has a window open and we can have a proper look at that very novel seating arrangement. Of course, the McLaren F1 also had 3 abreast seating, but in those cars, there we go, Matra Marina 81 to 84. In the McLaren F1, the driver sat in the middle, but on these, the driver sits way over to the left. Lots and lots of the new Renault Alpines, the A110s. Lots and lots of those here. And for a modern car, I actually think they're pretty neat little cars.
It's basically the same car. Yeah, pretty much. Who will spend a fortune?
Especially in this shade of blue, they do look really neat, I think. I like the retro livery on this one, based on the old Alpine rally cars of the early 1970s. A few more over here for good measure. Peugeots various over here. We've got a 306 in the foreground, several 205s. Really popular with collectors now, the 205s, especially the GTIs, either 1.6s like this or the 1.9 that's alongside. There's the little Booker flying past. He is off, he's a regular visitor. A little German training aircraft, that one. Probably going to or coming out of Slape. There's a couple of old Bookers based down at Slape. We've got a 205 Mardi Gras, immaculate car there. And this is more my kind of era. This super little cabriolet of the very early 1970s. A little 204. The 304 was a little bit bigger than this. Pininfarina design. But yeah, super looking little car those are. It's a 309, lesser spotted 309. You don't see those too often nowadays. Let's carry on down here. It's filled up a little bit since I was here before, looking at this really odd Brazilian market pickup truck over here. I can see a few Renaults over there, so let's head in that general direction. Whether there'll be any 4CVs here or not, I don't know. A little Kangoo here. A Renault Safran, one of those big luxury French cars which never really seem to sell that well over here, making it quite a rare sight. Super little Renault 4 van here. That's great, that is. We spotted a few of these when we were in France just a couple of months ago. I do like the fact that they have these lift up panels in the back of the roof so that you can carry extra long items, including perhaps extra long baguettes, that kind of thing. I love the old pressed metal plates as well, so sort of French style but made for the UK registration. That's really cool. I like that's pretty neat. Let's carry on down here. Little Megane coupe here. Clio Williams, one of the first sanction of Clio Williams's. Modern ones over there. Well, Alpine just tucked away over here, very, very low Alpine. The Renault 5 Turbo, quite an early one, I think. I love the Alpine wheels on it. Those are beauties. Left-hand drive. Yeah, super clean car. There's a Renault 5 TL alongside that. I can't see any 4CVs, so I'm even more disappointed now than I was before. The fact that we didn't get here with ours. Yeah. Pesky old cars. Everyone here on the end, quite an early Renault 5 Gordini. This will be familiar to regulars on the channel. This seems to get, well, pretty much everywhere. The owner lives down in Stratford-upon-Avon, but seems to get all over the place, and it's great to see it here today at Oulton Park. Rare car, that. Loads of later Renaults over here, but I don't think we're going to see any 4CVs, alas. No Renault 4 cars. We've had the van, but no Renault 4 cars. It really is mainly later cars at this event. Fortunately, that Renault 16 turned up, which I can just see on the top of the hill. So I think we'll have a general amble in that direction and go and take a closer look at it. On the way to the 16, we'll just have a quick look. These two Renault 5s, GT Turbo here. Great registration, C5 Renault. Perfect. But the car I want to have a closer look at is this phenomenal Renault 16 TS. What a rare car that is. Nice early one as well. I vaguely remember an uncle of mine lived in mid-Wales, and in the shed next to his house there was a very early one of these. I'm guessing what, G-Reg, H-Reg, something like that. Really, really old one. And it was there for years, and I think the building gradually fell down around it, and then the whole lot was cleared away some years back now, sadly. European Car of the Year 1966. Yeah, what a great looking car. So it's a 5-door hatchback design, very practical, quirky, loads of character. What more do you want from a classic car? Just great, and such a rarity now, especially here in the UK. There are very, very few of these still on the road, especially fairly early ones like this. So whenever I see one at a show, I'll always be making a beeline over for it. Left-hand drive. What a great car.
There's a new Twingo. It's Gordini, that. Duncan. Gordini.
They've lost one, but they've found new ones. We can't put that into question.
These little 306 cabriolets aren't exactly commonplace now. But what I really want to look at is this phenomenal 504 estate. Wow, what a... Now, I was talking about practical classics before with that Renault 16, but this even trumps the Renault. What an incredible vehicle. The 504 SRD. Yeah. Wow, great to see the 1970s represented here today at Autos de France. Lots of later cars, which is great because it's a general French car show, but it's a real treat to see some of the oldies turning up as well, including the 504, which I've always thought was a really handsome looking car, whether it was the saloon, the mighty estate, or the brake like you see here, and then of course there was the coupe and a cabriolet as well, which were really, really swish indeed. But yeah, lovely, lovely car. Huge load bay, diesel engine, left-hand drive this one. But yeah, acres and acres of space in the back of there. You could certainly kip in there. Yeah, that's really nice. Peugeot 405 alongside. 309, this time a 3-door. We saw a 5-door before. 1.9 GTI 205 over here, and that lovely shade of green that they did them in. Yeah, really, really neat. They're still arriving. Let's carry on over here past the little Peugeot Rally, the 106 Rally, 1.9 GTI. Now, we saw this one at the Combomere meeting several months ago now, that huge meeting we had one Sunday morning outside the Old Piggery Cafe at Combomere. This, I'm sure, is the same car, and this was definitely one of the cars of the show. An absolutely stunning Citroen SM in maroon. Yeah, beautiful Maserati powered car. About 1971 or 72. It seems that most shows I get to these last few weeks, there's been at least one SM there. There's certainly really been out and about a lot this year. We've seen all sorts. There was one down at Bicester last weekend. Oh, what an incredible car this is. An immaculate 205 CTI here. First one of these we've seen today, I think. Many stickers. Clearly this gets to a lot of Peugeot related rallies. It's in beautiful condition. It's even got all the original brochures on the front seat. Yeah, we like that kind of thing. Pininfarina was responsible for the creation of the CTI, based of course on the little hatchback. This one is pretty much like new, even if you peer under the wheel arches, it's as new. It's incredible condition, this one. I like the bonnet prop, which is an old camshaft off something or other.
I like
Yes. Well, I guess this interim height bonnet prop allows you to keep the bonnet up, and if it starts raining, your engine doesn't get soaked. Whereas if you open the bonnet up fully, it would get drenched, wouldn't it?
Interesting bonnet.
Yeah. 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 It's in great condition, that one. These C6s have quite a lot of interesting styling traits as well. When you actually get in close, these pretty bonkers curvy backlights and the super concave rear window, which is a nod back to the old CX, I suspect. Yeah. Really unusual car to look at. Not so many around now. A spot of musical accompaniment here. I feel underdressed without a beret. Fantastic. Ooh, there's a Morris Interloper over there. Well, the sun's coming out, and I've just noticed there is an information sheet in the windscreen of this great survivor Citroen GS, so we'll have a quick read of that. Citroen GS Club from 1976, imported October 2019, bought for €300 from a friend after it had been off the road for 6 years. It wears its Breton sun damage with pride, and there are currently no plans for restoration. Recent recommissioning work includes checking the oil level, new exhaust, new rear spheres, and extensive welding to the sill and A-pillar, where wasps had taken up residence whilst in France. Yeah, what a great buy. And being preserved in its original paint, sun-bleached original paint. And that is just perfect. Not just French cars here today. There's a GT6 Mark III on manoeuvres over there, but I thought I'd wander over this way and have a closer look at the little Morris Minor. I always think this shade of green really suits the Morris Minor. What year is this one? About 60, 61. I don't think they did this colour for very long actually. Little 205 there. But yeah, I don't think this colour was more than maybe a couple of years or so. Maybe they didn't sell very well, but I think it's a lovely colour. Still on its original registration number, which we approve of course, and the original plates, which is a bonus. Yeah, lovely car. Still with the clap hand wipers at this point in time, the A-series engine. What a great old car that is. I spy a little magnetic telulog on the dash, which has the little rotary controls on it, and it allows you to record how many gallons of fuel you've put in, what mileage you've got, and then you can calculate your MPG on your nearest available slide rule. Yeah, fantastic. What other classics can we see here in the public car park? Well, not too many is the answer, but I'm sure there'll be one or two interesting old cars if I walk far enough and look long enough. Here we go, a Cortina GXL, the posh 2-litre version of the Ford Cortina Mark III. Very good looking car this. Metallic paint, it's got the vinyl roof and the radio mounted aerial. Yep, twin lamps on the front, there's the badging confirming 2-litre engine in this one. Yeah, the GXL was the posh one. Lovely interior in there. Yep, so vinyl roof, that was always a sign of one of the posher cars in the 1970s. Got a couple of period speakers there on the rear parcel shelf. Yeah, what a beauty. GT6 has just parked up. Yeah, it's a lovely Mark III GT6. This is on the 5.5J, the 5.5 inch wide steel wheels. They weren't original fitment on these cars. They are Triumph pattern, but they were originally made for the Formula Ford single seat racing cars, but it's the same stud pattern as a GT6 and a Spitfire, so you often see the old Herald based cars fitted with those really groovy 5.5J deep rim wheels. I had a set of those on my 2.5 Spitfire back in the 1990s, and I think they really do set it off a treat. Right, quick butty stop and pick up some more batteries. Washing a car in the dark rarely goes well.
I've never raced on that configuration. The other one on Ireland.
you. Well folks, the afternoon is drifting towards its conclusion, so I think we will start heading home. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it was of interest. Please leave a comment, give it a like if you've made it this far. Think about subbing if you haven't yet, and there'll be many more videos along very soon. So bye for now.